Welcome back. You are watching Vision for Success. Here with us, guest Commissioner Bill Chong. Yes, Commissioner, we are discussing about the ladder for the leaders.
Right.
So,
I think the point is that that's one example of our strategy that we have heard from community groups is that you can't have one program that serves the many different needs of young people. Some young people have a lot of work experience and they can compete for these type of jobs. Some young people live in homeless shelters and they just need any kind of work experience. So we try to match the services with the needs of young people, knowing that one size does not fit all. We know, for example, that a young person who's 14 or 15 is not ready yet to be in a workplace, and they're at a very different place. They just want to get experience, and a young person who's 18 and graduating from high school wants a job that's more in tune with what their career or college interests might be. So we try to be flexible. And so we're in the process of redesigning the summer jobs program. And if people have ideas, we have a concept paper on our website, which is nyc.gov www.dycd. And people can go on that website and look at the concept paper and give us ideas about how they think the program should look.
So this is, what is the prerequisite? One should be citizen, immigrant, or
people have to just be eligible to work. So
okay.
that's the only.
No requirement for.
So they have to be. They have to have a social security number or an employee ID, or basically a legal authorization to work. Because what happens is they're paid a wage. Actually, young people are paid through a debit card, and then they're issued a W-2 form at the end of the year. And because that's, if you get a paid wage, you have to get a W-2 form and, and report it to the IRS.
So you also offer immigration legal services?
The legal services we don't offer. They're done through the Human Resources Administration. We do provide services, particularly adult literacy programs. It's one of the oldest programs at the Department of Youth and Community Development, and it runs the gamut from English as a second language, which is really important, to GED prep programs. And I understand personally, because my parents came to this country in the 1940s from China, and neither one of them spoke English. My father learned enough English to get a job working in restaurants. My mother, because she was born in China in the 19 teens, she was illiterate. She could speak Chinese, but she could not read or write Chinese. So she was illiterate basically in both Chinese and certainly in English. So for many immigrants who come to this country, and my experience of my parents is not that different from many who come from non-English speaking countries, that these services are vital.
Okay, so legal services,
we don't do that. Those programs were transferred to the Human Resources Administration, HRA.
Okay, so you patronize cultural program, religious program as well, or?
I mean, cultural programs. I mean, arts organizations tend to be funded by another city agency called the Department of Cultural Affairs. Culture activities are part of a lot of the activities that community centers and after-school programs do, because one of the things that I think many local community groups embrace is the importance of promoting the culture of the people who live in the community. So there's always different cultural activities, but for groups that work on arts, the separate city agency does those type of things.
So there is a program like Fatherhood Initiative, right? So
it's the first. I think it's the first fatherhood program in the country. We pioneered this more than 25 years ago because I think there was a recognition that non-custodial fathers, meaning fathers who don't have custody of the children, need support so that they can develop the skills needed to reunite and play a role in their child's life. So for the last, I would say, decade, we've been an organizer of this national effort that kicks off next Tuesday called Dads Take Their Children to School Day. And across the city, in many of our programs, we're organizing the father to make sure that day that they take their children to school, because it's important that they play a role in their child's life.
So you see a positive impact on the child's life?
Oh yeah, we have graduation ceremonies. I went to a graduation ceremony about a year ago of one of our fatherhood programs that Forestdale, which is a group in Queens, operates. And just to hear the stories of graduates of the program and how they learn parenting skills, how they learn anger management skills, how all the things that I think are important to being a good parent have made a difference in their lives and then in their children's lives.
So you have another program is healthy families.
Yeah, that's really it's a program that really focuses on helping connect families with other services in the community. And that's one of the things, let me just talk a little bit. I think one of the things that we're trying to do, at least in the time as commissioner, and I've worked at this agency for 8 years under Mayor Bloomberg, so this is my second go-around at DYCD. One of the things we're trying to do is connect the dots, because in one given neighborhood, we may have millions of dollars of money invested in different programs, but people don't know about it. And so we try to connect the dots, encourage programs to connect a person or a family with other services they may need, because we know that the lives of people who come to our partners for service are complicated. It's more than just one thing they need help with. And so Healthy Families is sort of like a hub to connect families to other services. So what we're doing, and I'll put a plug in for this, is that if people want to learn about the services in their neighborhood, we have an app called Discover DYCD. All you have to do is Google that. It's an app, and you can type in your address or your zip code, and it will provide you a list of all the programs in that neighborhood, how to contact them, Google Maps to show you where they are in relationship to where you are. Because what we want to do is make the services more accessible so that the community groups that we support know about the other groups we support, but more importantly, that the public knows what's available in their neighborhoods.
You conduct community need assessment.
Right.
So our community, we believe that is different in cultural side, religious side. Have you conducted any assessment for our community or not?
We've done programs across the city. So we think that that captures the broad needs of different people. So we have, for example, we have many organizations that serve South Asian communities. I know the South Asian Youth Action is one of the groups. Chaya is another group. So they're all part of the general survey, because there are so many different groups. It's virtually impossible to do a survey for every single ethnic group in the city. We want to do a citywide thing so we understand the needs broadly, and so we can do the best investment of resources.
Let me add, like fatherhood initiative.
Right.
So that is we live in a family. Most of our community. So kids are living with the fathers. So other community fatherhood initiative and our community fatherhood initiative, I think should be different.
Right.
So because we live in a family, we live together. Right. So this kind of thing, cultural and religious need assessment, that could help because to understand the community and to take the initiative.
So when we typically we design programs, we do what's called a concept paper, and so I think we did a concept paper 2 years ago, so maybe a while before we do another concept paper. But that's the kind of thing that community groups can give us feedback, and we can try to make adjustments with whatever money we have available. I mean, that's the one thing that limits us is sometimes the money isn't always there to do everything for everyone, particularly the fatherhood program, which is mostly funded by the federal government. And as you know, there's a great deal of uncertainty in Washington. Okay. So we're kind of, with money programs that receive city funding, we have a little bit more flexibility, and we have a lot more city money. That's why we're able to grow the after-school program, because the mayor himself was committed and he was able to put money behind it.
Okay, there's time for take another break. We'll come back. Viewers, you're watching Vision for Success. Stay with us. We'll come back shortly.